I'm going deep into the void.
Free fall. We've simulated it. Free fall.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You're probably thinking something looks different. You're right. I shaved, I got a haircut. Thank you for noticing, I appreciate that. But I also upgraded all the audio and visual equipment. And this is just in an effort to bring you guys better content. So what I thought I'd do is, while I'm learning the ins and outs of this completely new skill, is do a little Q&A. So what I've done is go over to the Facebook Disc Golf Dyers page. And if you haven't been there, it's a great resource for anybody just getting into dyeing, interested in showing off their dyes. Go check it out if you haven't already. But what I did is I went and found a few questions from the last few days, and I figured I would just give my take on the questions and see what you guys thought. So to get started, first off, this isn't like a right or wrong. It's always topic for conversation. If you guys have comments, please feel free to leave them below. Also, if you have a problem with me mentioning your name on camera, send me a message. I'd be happy to edit it out. I can assure you though, my YouTube channel gets a lot less views than the Dyers page on Facebook. Anyway, so our first question is from Marcus Chapin, and it's what's the best black dye for hot dips? I did read through a few of these answers and I agree with a lot of them, and those mainly are the ones that have to do with a mixture of black for hot dips. I have the same jar that I've had since I started about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's become this mixture of a few different blacks, which is iDye, Dungeon, and Onyx. Since Onyx came out, I've only put Onyx back in there, so primarily that's what my mix is, but there is going to be a mix of other stuff in there. You know, my only other tip for that would be just make sure you're putting enough dye into your water. Next question, when doing a lotion or glue bed inside a Frisbee, how deep do you make the bed before you put the dye in it? And that's from Jacob Adams. So I mentioned this a little bit in one of my my tutorials, and pretty much what you want to do is make sure that your disc is deep enough to cover this concave. So on this one you're looking maybe a ½ inch, right? Because what happens if it's too shallow and you press this thing down, it's going to push your design out, give you streaks, and you could bottom this thing out. Now you can go a lot shallower with some of your flatter discs, your mid-ranges and putters, but a good go-to for me is at least a ½ inch deep, depending on your medium. But with the glue in the lotion bed, I think a ½ inch should be plenty if you're using just the standard Ultimate Frisbee. Alright, next question from Romaine Warrenberg. I hope I pronounced that, bud. I'm sorry if I didn't. How much time do you leave a disc in a glue bed with heat? Alright, so this is an odd one for me just because I don't use heat. I go 24 hours without heat, but I've recently been experimenting and I've been doing a lot more work with my heat lamps, especially with the cell beds. But with a glue bed, you know, I think anywhere from 3 to 5 hours is a good amount of time to get that disc warmed up. You know, as long as you're sticking within that 100 to maybe 110, might be getting a little hot. But let that sit in there for 3 to 5 hours. Closer to 5 probably. Jeff, if you're paying attention, I know you're going to be happy with that answer. So yeah, and then after that, maybe just leave it for the next 24 hours, and you know, for the best saturation and results. All right, next question. This one's from Clayton Malcolm Crow. So what's everyone like to listen to while you're in your dye zone? So I used to listen to a lot of music, and my tastes vary. I like a lot of different stuff. If you saw my Pandora list, you would think I was a sociopath or something. I don't know, but it is all over the place. Typically now, though, I like to listen to you know, stand-up comedy. I like to listen to Two Bears One Cave podcast, Your Mom's podcast. I love those guys. They crack me up, and it's great background for when I'm doing my stuff. Next question, Chris Seymour, and it's essentially it's going over and asking if you could use leftover glue for or used glue for new glue beds. And you know, the simple answer is absolutely, you sure can. You know, I know Jory does that a ton, and he gets phenomenal results. You guys, I'm sure, have seen Jory's work. But yeah, the simple answer is yes, you absolutely can. Personally, I don't, and the reason for me is it's pretty simple. I really like to know what my design is going to be. I have very specific designs and ideas in my head, and I find that with the reused glue, it's kind of hard to see what I've done. It's one of the reasons why I use white Ultimate Frisbees for my beds, so that I get a much better accurate color representation when I'm making my beds. So yeah, that's the short and simple answer to that. But that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to do today. If you guys like this and you want me to do more like this and answer more questions, feel free to message me, comment below, whatever you'd like. And as always, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. You guys thought, if you audio visual, learning the lights and the sound.